ये ठीक है ना स्क्रीन? Good evening, everyone. So, Trump 2.20 is a reality now. So, the question that should come to your mind is globalization is going to meet its demise very soon. Is it the end road for, have we reached to the end road now? Is globalization dead? What are the symptoms? What are the trends that are visible that allow us to say globalization is dead? Or is it just a false alarm? This is what I'm going to examine. Okay, so this is what I'm going to examine in this topic. But before I dive into it, don't forget to like, share and subscribe this channel for the quality content. So let us start with this session where I'll be talking about whether globalization is dead and what is the way ahead for the world. How it is going to impact the world, how it is going to impact the Europe, how it is going to impact the India. We'll see everything in detail. Okay, so let's start with the topic globalization is dead. So this particular quotation, it was given by Charles Dickens in his book A Tale of Two Cities during French Revolution, and the today's era of the Trump reminded me exactly, means this quotation is very much appropriate for contemporary time. आज के समय में भी specifically during Trump 2.0 this particular quotation is very much appropriate. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief, it was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light, it was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope, it was the winter of despair. Exactly that is what is happening. To some people, those who has always been the critic of globalization, for them these are the adjectives that apply, while for those who have always supported globalization, for them it is the worst of time. It is the age of incredulity. It is the age of darkness. I'll see how it is. So before I explain, let me tell you these are the sources of my study. I have gone through few of these books. The Leveling, this book was written by Michael O'Sullivan, who himself is a international relation expert. Then The Death of Globalization by John Manners Bell. I'll be also discussing this, particularly what he says, how he see the death of globalization. Then there is also few articles I have taken from Foreign Policy, like the world will regret its retreat from globalization, and from Economic Times, Trump is dismantling globalization one blow at a time. So these are the sources of my study. Okay, so coming to next, now context of this argument, why I am arguing this, what is the basic premises of these arguments. So three important points I would like to highlight. First, the evidence that is visible through Trump 2.0, that's the one important premise on which I am arguing this. Second is anti-globalization steps that has been taken by Trump, as well as policies like MAGA, Make America Great Again. And third is fragmentation along geopolitical lines. So these are the three contexts which are right now visible across the world. I'll be arguing about it. Now the very important thing that should come to your mind, आप लोग ग्लोबलाइजेशन हमेशा पढ़ते हो, वैश्वीकरण हमेशा पढ़ते हो. We have also read कि वैश्वीकरण is not something new, globalization is not something new, it existed even in the past. So the term, how it got coined, so this term was attributed to this German born American economist Theodore Levitt. It was he who for the first time used this term in 1983 article that was titled as The Globalization of Markets. Although the phenomena of interconnectedness मैंने पहले भी बताया, it has existed in the world even before. Later on it was popularized, जो कि आप हमेशा पढ़ते होंगे, जॉन मीन्स विलियमसन का एक पर्टिकुलर आर्गुमेंट था, Washington consensus, where he gave multiple points related to globalization. So this was later on popularized by Mr. John Williamson. आप इनका फोटोग्राफ यहां पे देख सकते हो. Coming to next. Now, what are the major global shock waves? Why we are today questioning globalization? Why am I saying globalization is dead? Whether it is true or not. So what exactly happened in last 15 years that is like shaking the faith of core globalized countries who has always been supporter of globalization. So these are the important shock waves. Like 2008-2009, what we witnessed? We witnessed global financial crisis. 2017, that was the Trump 1.0 and America First policy. These are the important year, breakthrough year. 2019-20 में what we have seen, COVID-19 pandemic. 2021 में we have seen US-China tensions. 2022 में we have seen Inflation Reduction Act and Russia-Ukraine war still going. 2025 we are now witnessing Trump 2.0, which is like the which is the pinnacle of this particular point. So let us understand what are the important signs of demise of globalization. On what premises I have been arguing, and many of the economists are arguing that like globalization is going to see its end now. So these are the important points. Recent actions that have been taken by Trump, those point towards that there is now less hope for globalization. There is very less optimism associated with it. Second is the policies like friendshoring and nearshoring. That is also one of the important thing. Third is introduction of Neo-Protectionism. I'll be explaining each one of these terms in detail right now. And fourth is fragmentation along geopolitical lines. Means countries are dividing on the basis of geopolitical distinction. So we will see Trump 2.0. अभी देखो essence of जो भी ट्रम्प का जो पॉलिसीज है, those can be summarized in these 5 points. जो ट्रम्प का अभी का जो पॉलिसी है, if you would go through it, what you would realize कि these are the important things that are coming out of those policy. First thing is Trump want to cut down the size of his nation's public debt. ट्रम्प को पब्लिक डेट को किसी भी हालत में अपना कम करना है. So that's the one argument. Second, Trump wants to improve his country's trade balance with its major trading partners. इंडिया और भी जितने कंट्रीज हैं जिनका भी पॉजिटिव बैलेंस ऑफ ट्रेड है विथ यूएसए, तो ट्रम्प चाहता है कि वो पॉजिटिव ना होके एटलीस्ट इक्वल हो जाए. दैट इज वाई ट्रम्प हैज फोर्स्ड इंडिया to reduce tariff on multiple things. In fact, we have reduced tariff on many of the cars that were being imported from USA, having costing more than $40,000. और हार्ली डेविडसन बाइक, तो हार्ली डेविडसन बाइक जो भी 1600 सीसी से ऊपर का था, तो उस पे जो प्रीवियस टैरिफ था that has been now reduced by Indian government because of the pressure that was given to us by Trump. Next is woo businesses to relocate or to invest in the domestic economy. फिर से जो businesses who has left to some other countries उनको वापस लाना. That's the third important essence of Trump 2.0. Fourth is make the American economy efficient by reducing its fiscal deficit, and that is why they have formed a special department called DOGE. That is Department of Governmental Efficiency. They are going to even eliminate many of the government jobs, also eliminate unwanted expenditure on international aid also, and ultimately improve the competitiveness of American products through innovation, technology infusion, and through lower prices. So these are the important essence of Trump's इकोनॉमिक एंड ट्रेड पॉलिसीज, ये एसेंस है इस पूरे पॉलिसीज का. लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड विजिबल इंपैक्ट क्या क्या है ट्रंप 2.0 का. फर्स्ट विजिबल इंपैक्ट इज ट्रंप इज ट्राइंग टू डिसमेंटल ग्लोबलाइजेशन एंड नाउ यू आर अवेयर ऑफ हाउ. वन थिंग इज it is trying to kill WHO. The first day when he means after taking oath as president, one of the first executive decision which he made, executive order over which he signed, that was decision to withdraw USA from WHO, Paris Climate Accord and OECD का जो global corporate deal था, that decided to keep minimum tax of 15%, उससे भी he has decided to come outside of it. So okay, next is he is making difficult for people working for ICC, इंटरनेशनल क्रिमिनल कोर्ट के में जो भी लोग वर्क कर रहे थे उनके ऊपर he imposed sanctions. Muscular tariff policy, first time after the emergence of WTO के आने के बाद, this is the first time in history custom tariffs are right now used as a weapon to achieve both geopolitical and economic objective, और ये कोई और यूज नहीं कर रहा है, it's USA under Trump. Next is putting policies like make America great again, America first policy. So these also point towards what? Somewhere dismantling of globalization, and undercutting of WTO is another evidence that USA is trying to dismantle globalization. These are the visible impacts. It is completely visible, everyone can understand. Next is now what exactly it means. Friendshoring, nearshoring, हमेशा सुनते होगे. So what they are doing, they are reorienting the global supply chain, they are reorienting the manufacturing bases, and basically friendshoring and nearshoring में what they are doing, they are threading supply chains only through countries that are seen as geopolitical allies. जानबूझ के सप्लाई चेन उन्हीं कंट्री के थ्रू लेकर जा रहे हैं विच आर सीन एज जियोपॉलिटिकल अलाइज, जैसे कि इन्फ्लेशन रिडक्शन एक्ट, इसी में आप चिप्स एक्ट को भी डाल सकते हो, चिप्स एक्ट. सो दीज वर द इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेप्स टेकन towards friendshoring and nearshoring. Next is introduction of Neo-Protectionism. Now Neo-Protectionism is what is? Basically it is a combination of protectionist measures as well as free trade policies. So इसमें what exactly they are doing? They are making policies like buy national policy or America first policy. These are the policies of Neo-Protectionism. Use of custom tariff, these all are neo-protectionist measures. Next is fragmentation along geopolitical lines. Fragmentation along geopolitical lines में basically what we are seeing, we are already seeing trade decoupling that is happening across the world. So basically global trade patterns are now not globalized, rather it is becoming more regionalized. Okay, so these are the visible evidences that shows that globalization is moving towards its demise. Many may disagree, बहुत सारे लोग जो हैं they may not agree with what I have been arguing, but see, I have gotten enough evidence to support my hypothesis that globalization is moving towards its demise. Okay, so let us understand what are the important impact which is visible. One is tariff is being used as a weapon. पहली बार ऐसा हो रहा है since the emergence of WTO where a country is using custom tariff as a weapon to achieve both geopolitical and economic objectives, and this would automatically increase what? Global price level. Inflation को ये पक्का बढ़ाएगा. So that's the one important visible impact. Second is there have been multiple dismantling of various protectionist measures given to emerging and underdeveloping economies. आपको पता होगा for WTO जब आया था तो WTO introduced many protectionist measures in order to save the developing and underdeveloping countries from the costly imports of what that is called developed countries goods. So those are being dismantled in a systematic manner. That's the second important thing. Next important thing is what is happening. USA is demanding इक्वल मार्केट. अब इक्वल मार्केट एक्सेस की बात आप करोगे, रेसिप्रोसिटी इन टैरिफ स्ट्रक्चर इवन विथ इमर्जिंग इकोनॉमीज एंड अंडर डेवलपिंग इकोनॉमीज, सो दैट इज क्वाइट अनफेयर. नाउ व्हाट इट वुड कॉज, अभी सोचो, देयर आर मेनी अंडर डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज, स्मॉलर कंट्रीज हु ओनली एक्सपोर्ट वन आइटम्स, जैसे कि ऑलमोस्ट चार, वो जो ये साहेल रीजन वाला जो है, या कॉटन 4 कंट्रीज हुआ, जिसमें यू माइट हैव सीन लाइक चैड, आइवरी कोस्ट एंड वेस्टर्न अफ्रीकन यूनियन कंट्रीज विच ओनली ग्रो एंड एक्सपोर्ट कॉटन, सो दे कैन नॉट सर्वाइव विदाउट सम प्रोटेक्शन फॉर देयर डोमेस्टिक कॉटन ग्रोअर्स. नाउ यूएसए इज डिमांडिंग क्या कि नो, we would not treat them separately than other countries. इनका सिंपल डिमांड है कि इक्वल मार्केट एक्सेस दीज कंट्रीज को भी प्रोवाइड कराने होंगे, अदरवाइज देयर वुड बी लाइक यूएसए वुड इम्पोज सम काइंड ऑफ टैरिफ मेजर्स ऑन द गुड्स कमिंग आउट ऑफ दीज कंट्रीज ऑल्सो. सो दैट इज अनदर इंपॉर्टेंट प्रॉब्लम एंड दिस वुड इंपैक्ट देयर एक्सपोर्ट एज वेल एज देयर वेलफेयर. सो नेक्स्ट इज इंपैक्ट ऑन द वर्ल्ड. व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, अभी खुद देखो हाउ इट इज दीज पॉलिसीज आर इंपैक्टिंग द वर्ल्ड. रेसिप्रोकल टैरिफ बाय यूरोपियन कंट्रीज, आपने सुना होगा कि कनाडा एज वेल एज यूएसए, यूरोपियन कंट्रीज बोथ हैव डिसाइडेड टू इंपोज रेसिप्रोकल टैरिफ ऑन द यूएसए. सो दिस हैज हैपेंड. सेकेंड थिंग, राइज इन ट्रेड पॉलिसी अनसर्टेनिटी. आप देखो, दिस इज लाइक दिस चार्ट has tracked the overall trade policy uncertainty since 1960. और 1960 में there was one trend year, वो 72-73 ऑयल क्राइसिस आप लोग को पता है, वो था. थोड़ा सा 2020 में ड्यू टू कोविड there was increase in trade policy uncertainty, and now see under Trump where it has reached. So in last 50 years trade policy uncertainty has hit an all-time high in the USA. So this is, of course, this is not a good news for India, and not a good news for India as well as the world. So this is certainly going to increase inflation worldwide. That's the one thing. Second important thing, what is happening? Abhi, it's not just good for, it is not just bad for the world. Even for the USA, it is not a good news. What you will see? अब S&P जो 500 इंडेक्स है, बेसिकली it basically tracks the top 500 companies listed in the USA. You can see since the arrival of Trump, it is going down. It is going down. So this is not even a good news for America. Even Americans are not going to get too much benefit out of it. Over a period of time, they may suffer recession. Okay, so next important thing, potential impacts on India. What are the potential impact? ये तो simple clear होगा आप लोगों को. So of course, अगर वर्ल्ड वाइड स्लो डाउन होगा, so there are higher chances of slowdown in economic growth. Indian economic growth would also come down. There would be reduction in FDI inflows, so foreign investment भी कम इंडिया में आएगा. Limited access to global market, जो ग्लोबल मार्केट में हमारा एक्सेस है, दैट वुड ऑल्सो कम डाउन. पोटेंशियल जॉब लॉसेज इन एक्सपोर्ट ओरिएंटेड सेक्टर्स, जॉब लॉसेज भी होंगे एक्सपोर्ट ओरिएंटेड सेक्टर्स में. डिक्रीज्ड एबिलिटी टू अट्रैक्ट स्किल्ड टैलेंट फ्रॉम अब्रॉड, अब्रॉड से हम कम स्किल्ड टैलेंट को वहां पे मतलब अट्रैक्ट कर पाएंगे. टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसमेंट हमारा बहुत धीरे धीरे ग्रो करेगा. जियोपॉलिटिकल इन्फ्लुएंस जो इंडिया का है, दैट वुड ऑल्सो कम डाउन, एंड अल्टीमेटली दिस वुड इंपैक्ट आवर ओवरऑल डेवलपमेंट. बट देयर आर सर्टेन पॉजिटिव इंपैक्ट्स ऑल्सो. अब जैसे कि बहुत सारे डोमेस्टिक इंडस्ट्रीज हैं विच आर अनेबल टू फ्लरिश बिकॉज ऑफ increased competition from the different parts of the world. So of course there would be resurgence of those domestic industries. यहां पर सारे डोमेस्टिक इंडस्ट्रीज नहीं, ओनली फ्यू जो अभी जिनका बुरा हालत है बिकॉज दे आर अनेबल टू फेस द कंपटीशन. प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज, रिड्यूस्ड डिपेंडेंस ऑन इंपोर्ट्स and more balanced economic development. These are the some positives which are coming for India. Now the question that arises, so what should be the way forward? क्या होना चाहिए? अब जैसे everyone has explained this whole phenomena about the death of globalization in a different manner. When John Manswell in his book argued, what he said that the death of globalization इनकी book का नाम है, वो बोलते हैं कि that the economic landscape and supply chain are now being increasingly shaped by political rather than commercial interest. पहले ग्लोबलाइजेशन का जो लॉजिक था that was commercial interest, at the same time to bringing different countries on the same table so that even political acrimony could be sorted out. So right now what is happening, we are seeing that it is now being shaped by political rather than commercial imperatives. Fragmented, ये बोलते हैं कि today globalization is fragmented, localized, fractured. Globalization if not completely dead is on life support. आज का जो कंडीशन ग्लोबलाइजेशन का है दैट इज ऑन लाइफ सपोर्ट. नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, माइकल ओ सुलिवन इन हिज बुक द लेवलर, ही आर्ग्यूज दैट द लिबरल ग्लोबलाइज्ड वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर इज विदरिंग. जो वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर है दैट इज विदरिंग नाउ एंड ही आर्ग्यूज दैट इट वुड लीड टू ग्रेट लिवलिंग. इनका पॉजिटिव पॉइंट है. माइकल ओ सुलिवन के हिसाब से नाउ द वर्ल्ड वुड मूव टुवर्ड्स अ मोर लेवलिंग इन द सेंस what he says कि the disparity that exists between the rich and poor that would come down. जो inequality है rich और poor के बीच वो कम होगा. Second important impact would be emergence of multipolarity. This is what S. Jaishankar was also saying at the Chatham House. अभी यूके में Chatham House में जब वो भाषण दे रहे थे तो this is what he said कि there would be emergence of multipolarity. Next important thing is कि it would also involve the leveling of political accountability and responsibility between political leaders and the people. The people would start questioning the political leaders and the leveling of institutional power away from central banks and defunct political 20th century institutions such as WTO and IMF towards new treaties. So Michael O. Sullivan के हिसाब से this is good. This is going to prove as a leveler for the next 5-10 years. Okay, and the things would change. What are the other important lessons that we should learn from here? We should never put all eggs in one basket, and this lesson is more important for European countries. They put all their basket mostly on USA. So that's the one thing. Second is it may lead to loss of global leadership of the USA. USA may not enjoy the predominant position which it was enjoying. हो सकता है these European countries may start trading in different currencies than dollar. So previously USA was accusing BRICS of de-dollarization. Now even European may start de-dollarization. तो हो सकता है कि de-dollarization would start from the de-dollarization may start from the European countries itself. Next is emergence of true multipolarity, and ultimately emerging economies like India, they also get an opportunity to provide leadership. It provides an opportunity to countries like India to give leadership. I hope I have made my points clear. So those who liked it, please do like it, share and subscribe. And one more thing I would like to tell, day after tomorrow I'll be taking an important session on important places in news for UPSC prelims 2025. So please do watch it. It will start sharp at 9:30. Take care. Bye bye.